Welcome back to our Urban Rockhounding in Italy series, continuing now southward from the Lake Como region, which we covered in the previous episode. We visit today Verona and Venice. We will come back to a few stone-related highlights in Verona, but I want to start out our video with a bang. And so let's jump ahead to St. Mark's Basilica in Venice, especially looking at these amazing and varied stone columns on the facade. Long story short, this basilica was built in the 11th and 12th centuries with numerous modifications over the long period since then. According to my research, this basilica, both inside and out, contains as many as 500 stone columns and other stone items that were taken and reused from other lands by the mighty Venetians, and specifically from Constantinople when it was sacked during the Crusades at about the same time the church was being built. Many other artifacts from far and wide were brought that are kept inside the church. I watched a Rick Steves video on the basilica, and he dubbed the architectural style as early ransack, which I thought was quite appropriate. Since the history of each column we are seeing is difficult to trace, it suffices to say that this array of stones depicts the far reach of the peoples at that time in terms of quarrying and stone craftsmanship from such a vast area. Again, keep in mind that there were no motorized vehicles, no electricity, no cranes, no long-haul trucking, and no polishing or shaping equipment. Again, there are many online sources that focus exclusively, for example, on Italian cathedrals and basilicas, or just on a single city. And should you so desire, further information is available, and I hope that by me showing you these quick glimpses of these places, I whet your appetite for such further research, especially as it regards the stones and stonework that we are seeing. Due to time restraints, I was not able to enter the basilica, but my brief researching online makes it clear that the inside is every bit and even more elaborate than the stonework we are seeing here. Urban rockhounds, you need to come here for a month at least. Jumping back now to Verona, let's look at the Verona Arena. I tried to capture, during our quick walk close to the venue, a closer look at the stone, which consists of red, pink, and white limestones all quarried in nearby areas. This arena predates the larger Colosseum in Rome, being built in 30 AD. It has been in constant use ever since then, except during the two world wars, and while it originally held 30,000 seats, today its capacity is about 15,000 for most of the events held there. The arena suffered major damage during a strong earthquake in the year 1117, almost 11 centuries after its construction, and yet still 900 years ago to us. It's all about perspective, my friends. Many of these other structures we are seeing now are about as old. Do you think any of our stadiums will still be in use 1,995 years from now, assuming that they are completed this year, 2025? Would they survive the earthquakes and wars likely to occur during the length of that time? I hope that you noticed the intricate San Pietrini cobblestones paving the streets and square near the arena. But other squares, sidewalks, and streets in Verona are paved with the same red, pink, and white limestones that were used in the arena's construction. These limestones are known to contain many fossils, which upon closer inspection can be seen in the streets and sidewalks, such as this possible giant snail fossil covering the entire sidewalk slab. Obviously, these are not museum-quality specimens or anything like that, but it is really unique to see such finds in an urban environment. The next rock-related site we will check out is this rather funny copy of a fake balcony, according to our tour guide, that millions of tourists visit in hopes of seeing Romeo and Juliet's actual balcony. It turns out that there is no balcony in Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, and the balcony itself was built in 1934 for a movie production. And this isn't even the balcony that was built for the movie, but only a copy of it. Nonetheless, millions of tired and weary travelers' shoes have polished this cobblestone street to a high shine in order to see it. Now let's go back to Venice and St. Mark's Square. We were able to take a brief tour of the Doge Palace, which was basically the government offices during the Middle Ages in Venice, which of course were lavishly decorated, including some nice stonework, as we can see both on the outside as well as inside on the floors and columns. The place was built around the year 810 and has undergone, obviously, quite a few modifications in the 1,215 years since then. This floor, most likely composed of marble fragments, is some 600 to 800 years old, and the pieces varied quite a lot in size between the rooms. These other floors are just amazing examples of how they would do things back then. Look at these columns. In my research, I was unable to pinpoint their exact origin, but my guess is similar to in the Basilica. These columns likely were brought from somewhere else and reused in the Doge Palace. Amazing variety of materials again that we see here. But we can't speak about columns in Venice without going outside and seeing these amazing gigantic granite columns. Each one is a single piece of granite. They are known as the columns of St. Mark and St. Theodore, the patron saints of Venice. St. Mark is depicted as the winged lion on the top of one column, while St. Theodore is depicted riding a crocodile. For centuries, public executions were carried out between these two columns. They were brought, like so many other artifacts, as spoils of war from the east, possibly Egypt, and were erected about 900 years ago. Evidently, these giant stones were brought in on 3 ships, one of which capsized in the lagoon, and the stone column is believed to still be there, sunken in the mud. Each column is a single piece of granite about 40 feet tall and weighing 250 tons. Again, remember, there were no mechanical equipment, cranes, or hoists. No wonder they left the one on the bottom of the lagoon. Some sources say the granite may have originally been quarried in what is now Lebanon. But just look at the size of these things. At the base here, we may be seeing a patch where perhaps a piece crumbled off during installation and was reinserted and polished smooth again. But for the most part, these enormous columns are flawless creations. Even with today's modern equipment, I wonder how hard it would be for us to install something like that and not have it crack. Venice has long been known for its blown glass artistry, and the Murano glass in particular. Our group was able to visit the Murano Island, to which all glass manufacturing was confined as of the year 1291 in order to avoid fires in the city, since those furnaces reach about 1400 degrees. The glass manufacturing, however, dates back to Roman times. We were not permitted to photograph or record inside the store, which was utterly amazing, but I do consider glass somewhat rock-related, and so I managed to film this little display in the entrance area that I don't think anyone will mind. The glassware is sold all over Venice and elsewhere in Italy, but the large, heavy pieces in the factory showroom are something to behold, and can be seen on the factory's website, which is simply originalmuranoglass.com, and they also have a YouTube channel by the same name. And if you like glass, these are well worth your visit. By the way, did you know that Venice also has its own leaning tower? Considering that much of Venice is built on ancient wooden pilings driven down into the mud, I am surprised there aren't many such leaning towers there. It is truly an amazing place, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video and enjoyed the few facts and figures that I've been able to throw in with my research. And by all means, continue watching the series and also watch the previous 2 videos about this trip to Italy if you have not already done so. Please like, share, and subscribe, as that really helps us out. God bless you guys, and we'll see you next time.